friends. I'm back again. Today I found a fiction story, and some of you might actually have seen this book before because I think this author has written lots of diaries of and this one's Diary of a Spider, but I believe there's one called or titled Diary of a Worm, Diary of a Fly, and I think I even posted some of these books in our insect collection on Epic, and maybe your teacher has too. So this one, even though if you look at the cover, here's a spider sitting in a cup with a pencil, and she's hooked a leaf with a web to the pencil to make kind of a canopy. It looks like she turned the cup into a boat. So it's definitely make-believe fiction, but remember, the author of fiction books, oftentimes their main idea or reason for writing the story is to teach you more about the topic, which in this case is a spider. So even though it's fiction, I want you to really pay attention because it might teach you some more facts about what we're learning this week, which is all about spiders. So here's our retelling hand. Let's pay attention as we're reading to our characters, our setting. There might be a problem and a solution, and think about all of the things that happen in the book at the beginning, the middle, and the end that all help us to learn the main idea of the story. So Doreen Cronin is the author of all these diary books, and her illustrator is Harry Bliss. Diary of a Spider. I really like her books because she puts pictures at the beginning to help you get to know the character. So here's a big web, and there's a bunch of pictures about Spider. And it says, here, look, we know what that is. But here's Spider. I don't think he knows what it is. Discovered this neat sculpture. Oh, he thinks a toilet's a sculpture. Here's his family portrait. Look, he's got a sister and a mom and a dad. Here's his friend Fly, and Fly has a little sister Maggot. Here's a picture of his first web he made. Here's his favorite book, Charlotte's Web. Oh, and Miss Stuff read us that. And here is a baby picture of Spider and his grandpa. Diary of a Spider. Many of you keep diaries at home? Do you know what a diary is? Yeah, it's kind of like a journal. You can write things in it that are special to you, things that happen to you, maybe secrets that you have. So the author has dates, and it goes through, and Spider puts in things that happened to him all throughout his life. So March 1st, today was Grandparents' Day at school. So I brought Grandpa with me. He taught us 3 things. Number 1, spiders are not insects. Insects have 6 legs. Hey, we just learned that, didn't we? And look, Spider goes to school just like you guys. Look at all the friends he has in his class. Number 2, Grandpa taught us, without spiders, insects could take over the world. And we learned that the other day too, because spiders actually eat lots of insects. And number 3, Grandpa taught us butterflies taste better with a little barbecue sauce. That's silly. March 16th, Grandpa says that in his day, flies and spiders did not get along. And here's an old newspaper, and there is a spider and a fly not getting along. Things are different now. And oh, there's a speech bubble. Spider saying, "This is awesome." So look, he's playing with a fly. That's kind of crazy because spiders usually eat flies, right? March 29th, today in gym class, oh, he goes to gym class just like you. We learned how to catch the wind so we could travel to faraway places. Next. When I got home, I made up flashcards so I could practice. Hey, do we use flashcards? Yeah, we might use them to help us with power words, math facts. So he made up flashcards to help him learn how to catch the wind. Number 1, climb high. Number 2, release silk. Number 3, catch the wind. Fly made up her own flashcard. Fly. I'm starting to see why Grandpa doesn't like her. April 1st, went to the park with my sister today. We tried the seesaw. It didn't work. I wonder why they couldn't get the seesaw to work. We tried the tire swing. It didn't work. We spun a huge sticky web on the water fountain. Eek! That worked. April 12th. Today was safety day at school. We learned that vacuums eat spider webs and are very, very dangerous. If we hear a vacuum, we should stop, drop, and run. And here they've got the rules written on a leaf. Kind of like we write our rules on chart paper. It says stop what we're doing, drop from the web, and run like crazy. Does that remind you of a rule we have? Stop, drop, and roll? Yeah, we learned that from the firemen, didn't we? Well, they run from the vacuum. So April 13th, we had a vacuum drill today. I stopped what I was doing, forgot where I was going, and ran screaming from the room. Help! We're having another drill tomorrow. Uh-oh. He has some practicing to do, I think. April 17th, I'm sleeping over at Worm's house tonight. I hope they don't have leaves and rotten tomatoes for dinner again. More leaves, Spider? May 7th, Mom said I was getting too big for my own skin, so I molted. That is so gross, says Worm. That's what happens, though, as they get bigger, right? May 8th, today was show and tell, so I brought in my old skin. My teacher called on it to lead the Pledge of Allegiance. You there, why don't you get us started? I don't think he can talk, can he? June 5th, Daddy Longlegs made fun of Fly because she eats with her feet. Now she won't come out of her treehouse. Poor Fly. I'm going to find him and give him a piece of my mind. Look at her treehouse. That's pretty cool. Look, she made steps out of Legos. She used straws to make the roof and leaves and crayons and a pencil. Pretty cool. June 6th, I found Daddy Longlegs, but he's a lot bigger than I thought he was, so I gave him a piece of my lunch instead. Kind of chickened out, didn't he? June 7th, Fly's treehouse blew away in the wind today. So did Grandpa. June 18th, I got a postcard from Grandpa today. Dear Spider, ooh la la, I landed in Paris. French bugs are delicious. Au revoir, Grandpa. And here he taped a leg of a French gnat. Give it a try. Yuck. June 30th, Grandpa came home today. I couldn't wait to hear about how he rode the winds all the way over the ocean. Turns out he caught a breeze to the airport and napped in first class. July 2nd, Fly came over to play today. She got stuck in our web and her mom had to come get her. So here's Spider's room. He made it out of a web. And look at Fly's mom. She's a little nervous. Hi, Mom. Grandpa laughed a little too hard. He thinks it's pretty funny. From now on, we have to play at Fly's house. This page is sideways. July 9th. Today was my birthday. Grandpa decided I was old enough to know the secret to a long, happy life. Never fall asleep in a shoe. July 16th. Things I scare. Fly's mom. It wasn't his fault, Mom. Number 2, tiny bugs. And number 3, people using water fountains at the park. July 17th, things that scare me. Daddy long legs, vacuums, and people with big feet. No! August 1st, I wish that people wouldn't judge all spiders based on the few spiders that bite. I know if we took the time to get to know each other, we would get along just fine. Just like me and Fly. And that's the end. Here's a few more pictures. Oh, look at his favorite book, The Itsy Bitsy Spider. Dad made me this. Oh, look, he has a trampoline made out of a web. My best friends, Worm and Fly. My first molted skin, extended family reunion. I made this slingshot, and Worm found this. Oh, looks like a toy that lost its arms. All right, so that's the diary of a spider, the life of a spider. Even though I know there's a lot of things that were make-believe in there, I think there was also some facts that were thrown in there to help us. So let's think about all those story elements that we found in our story. Who were our characters? Well, I wrote our characters were Spider. I think he was the main character. And then there was Grandpa Spider, Fly, and Spider's sister. We also could have put in there Worm. And the setting, and it's important to know that in some books, just like this one, that the setting changes as the story happens. It started at school, then it went to his house, and then there was a few other places in there too. So sometimes the setting always just isn't in one place. And what was the problem in the story? Well, the problem I thought was that Spider faces problems in his life as he grows up. So as he's growing up, he faces a lot of problems in his life. So what was his solution? His solution was to keep a diary, to write down his thoughts and his feelings and what he's learning from all of these problems he's facing. And that's what happens with us too. As we grow and change, we learn. Mistakes help us to learn, and people help us to learn, and things that happen in our life help us learn and become a better person. So keeping a diary helps you to write down all of his thoughts. So that was a good solution. So at the beginning of the book, Grandpa tells Spider that flies and spiders don't get along. But in the middle, he learns things at school, he learns things at home as he grows up, and in the end, I liked the page that said, if we get to take the time to know, not just spiders, but just all of these insects that we're learning about, we might just like them, just like Fly and Spider. And that's an important thing to learn, that as we learn about these insects and spiders, they're an important part of our world and nature. They do very important things for nature. Bees make honey. Okay, we learned about social insects and how they have important jobs in their homes and in their community. All right, spiders we're learning are important because they eat lots of insects. Otherwise, our world would be filled with insects flying all around us. So you should think about that as you come across insects and spiders in your world. Maybe think about what you should do the next time you see one, because they're important. So attached to this lesson are 2 pages. The first one looks like this: what do spiders eat? So if you print this off, you could think, because all this week we've learned about lots of things that spiders eat. So you could think of 3 things. It says spiders eat ... You think of 3 things, draw a picture of 3 things, and then write it underneath. And if you can't print it off, that's okay. You could still do it on a plain piece of paper. Draw 3 things that spiders eat and write what they are underneath. And then we also learned there's another paper that looks like this, and it says up at the top, facts about spiders. And we've learned lots of facts this week. So I want you to think of 3, and I want you to start the sentences. Spiders, they started it for you. So spiders, and think of 3 facts that you've learned about spiders. So maybe you could say, spiders have pedipalps. All right, maybe you could draw a spider and draw pedipalps. All right, spiders spin webs. And maybe draw a spider and draw him spinning a web. And spiders eat lots of insects. And maybe draw a picture of a spider with lots of insects. So you think of 3 facts that you've learned this week. Write them, draw a picture to go along with it, and then please, please, please don't forget, take a picture of this paper and this paper and send it to your teacher and show us all of these facts that you are learning this week about spiders.